We are here today at the Curtis Center as they gear up for their first iron pour. If you don't know what an iron pour is, it is a spectacular event that brings people together for a transformative art experience. An amazing experience to witness you don't want to miss. Let the pour begin.
I am teaching a sand to iron carving workshop for the Curtis Arts and Humanities. It teaches kids how to translate a two-dimensional drawing into a three-dimensional sculpture. And then also the properties of metal, of it being poured, melted down, how to carve into sand, seeing things opposite, so you're carving for the reverse. When you carve sand tiles, the first thing you want to do is pick out an image.
Estella, what do you like about this activity?
I like making artwork.
Me too.
I made a peacock.
Really beautiful. I like it. Are you excited?
Yes.
I'm excited too.
So when you're carving your design, you stay within this lip here. However, you can go out to a quarter of an inch out on all sides. But you don't want to carve past that because then the molten iron will spill out of your tile. So they've decided to do the larger design, which is the peacock. So they've carved out to that area that I told them to stop at. There's files, there's dental tools, there's sanding tools, pin vices. This is the treasure box. Kind of helping her. And they can also take it home with them and finish at home. So I brought a bunch of images for people to choose from. And once they've chosen an image, you just trace out the image that you're going to carve on your tile with a really heavy line. And then you take it and put it on your tile. And you rub it onto the tile. And that's what transfers the image over there. Or you can just draw it directly onto your tile. See?
Jackson, tell me about your sand tile.
Well, I'm writing my name on the sand tile. In bubble letters.
This is a good example because when you're carving words, you have to do it in reverse because when we pour it, then it's going to be backwards. And sandpaper is now your eraser when you're carving in sand.
Have you ever done an iron pour before?
No. It's a bunny, and it's kind of hard. It has all these fur parts right here.
From a fun sand carving party, we're off to check out the Fire Plus Iron Equals Art exhibit in honor of the village's inaugural iron pour. The art displayed here is the work of artists who excel in this contemporary art practice. I am here with Chris Stevens. Explain this exhibition. What does it focus on?
Well, we have partnered with CU Denver's sculpture department to have an exhibit of some of their student work and some of their faculty and some of the past student work, but all the work focuses on iron. So all of the pieces in here incorporate iron in some way as part of the artwork. There's a lot in here that I do like, and it was kind of fun. Every time we opened a crate, it was kind of like Christmas. We always wanted to know what was inside. Probably one of my favorite pieces is called Little Fat Kids, and it's 3 iron little kids in a row. To me, they're very fun and whimsical, but they also remind me something that you would find in an old archaeological dig. Iron casting started in about 5th century BC in China, where they were casting iron to usually make farm implements or pots. It didn't really make its way to the West until until about the 17th century, where they started using it mainly to make weapons out of. But eventually they found new ways of casting the iron, and they eventually used it to build buildings and steam engines for trains. So it's come a long way since the 5th century BC back in China.
The time has come to experience the excitement as 2,500 degrees of molten metal is poured. Bring your sandstone tile to Curtis Park and get ready to see it cast in iron before your eyes.
I work with CU Denver. That's who's here today. CU Denver, the university downtown, and I teach sculpture. And so these are my students, and some of them are my students who've already graduated, and they're coming back to pour some iron, which is what they learned with me in sculpture.
That's so cool.
Well, it's so hot.
Well, by the look of it, that kettle, it's really hot.
Yeah, so that is called a furnace, and we call it a cupola, and the metal inside goes up to 2,700 degrees. That's hot. That's hotter than bronze. Not quite as hot as steel for melting. And what we've done is we break up radiators, and we find them in the scrapyard and pipe, and then we melt them and pour them into molds that are of different things that the students have made. We have been pouring iron at CU Denver since 2005, so just over 10 years. There's an exhibition in the Curtis Arts and Humanities Center right now until November 4th that shows a lot of work from past students over the decade, and a lot of our guest artists who've helped us learn the process of casting iron. Do you ever do much baking?
Kind of.
Kind of? And you know when you pour stuff into your muffin pan and then it cooks and it takes that shape? So we have all these molds made, and there are shapes that are empty that we're going to pour molten metal into, and that molten metal will solidify and cool by tomorrow in some of the molds because it's that hot when it goes in. And we're going to have some lovely metal forms. There's everything from mop heads to gloves to carved sculptures to tiles. We have a lot of people here who are carving tiles. Maybe you're going to carve one later. Maybe you already did one. But they're like open face, like a muffin pan. And whatever somebody has carved, the metal will become the positive of that. So it's like printmaking almost, but you get a solid sort of print instead of a print on paper.
I'm a firebug. I do raku, so I like playing with fire. It's exciting. I wish I could be actively participating, but I can't. I can see from a distance, but really fun. I did a tile with lots of circles, and it's life. It goes around and around and around. Just kind of the energy of the world.
Embers flew, molten iron flowed. The crowd oohed and awed. This community iron pour not only brought people together, but the event allowed each person to create their own work of art during the spectacular fiery experience. I'm Ethel Yugudaiva, reporting from Curtis Center in Greenwood Village. Good night.